Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about all the shops that are part of this event, and I'm going to let you know what's good to buy, what might not be worth it, what's a scam, what isn't, and all of that kind of stuff in this video. And of course, it's going to be depending on where you are in the game. Obviously, if you're 290 like me, for example, the stuff from the shops are going to have different levels of value. So if you're an early game player, this video might be seen a little bit differently, and if you're an end game player, it also might be seen a little bit differently. But I'm gonna tell you what the items are used for and give you general recommendations based off of where I think the item is most valuable at what point in the game. And of course, if you enjoy this type of video, be sure to subscribe because it's the best way to help me besides just watching the video. And it also keeps you up to date on all the videos that I will be uploading about this game. And of course, also come to the live stream where you can hang out, ask questions, have a good time, and of course, join the Discord as well. With that all being said, let's get right into it. So the first thing that you have to know about this event is that there are multiple shops. Let's just get this out of the way right away. The first shop over here, the MSO Shop, is a bunch of bullshit. Like, honestly, MSO shops are pretty much never worth buying anything in them unless you are just really into cosmetics. I don't think it's worth buying at all. The only cosmetic that I think is quote-unquote maybe worth buying is this Android ear sensor clip because it gets rid of the robotic ears on your Android if you really care that much about fashion. But it's 1.2 bill. It's stupid expensive. I wouldn't recommend this at all to anyone, especially these flames too. These flames are incredibly expensive. I would not buy these. MSO Shop is a complete scam. Now, the next thing that we gotta talk about, which is very convenient, is if you open this UI, the Homecoming Mission UI, you will see that there are stamps over here and there are badges over here. And if you press the to exchange button, it'll just open up the shop that is designated for these. So let's talk about the badges one real quick. The badges is literally just cosmetic stuff. So it's just up to you if you want this or not. You're going to get a ton of badges throughout this event just from naturally playing the mini games. So you can buy the cosmetic stuff if you want. And it could be a way of getting some pretty okay free NX for your mules. Like I saw people wearing this JM from the Streets coupon a lot. And then there's also like label rings. But I would say the best value from this is the damage skin extractor coupons, because let's say you're playing a new main and you want to transfer like a unit damage skin from one character to another, you would have to use a damage skin extraction coupon. So this has pretty good value. But other than that, it's just completely up to you. Like these are just all cosmetics. So it's up to you whether you want to use this or not. Now there is this Wingroid coupon, but you do get a fairy heart throughout this event down the line. So it's not too important to get that. I would say that if you don't have an Android at all by the time the event ends, then you could get the Wingroid coupon so that you can even equip your fairy heart in the first place. Because I don't think the fairy heart comes with an Android, so you're going to need one somehow, and this is how you can get one. So now let's talk about the stamp shop. So I did a quick calculation to see how many stamps you get throughout the entire event, and the number is 22,000. So you get 22,000 events throughout. So you get 22,000 stamps throughout the entire event. If you did 5 times a week the 1,000 mobs, you'll get 22,000. You get 20,000 just from checking in, and you get an additional 2,000 from the Sunny Sunday rewards throughout the weeks. So 22,000 stamps. What can you do with that? The first thing that I think is very important to talk about is the extreme growth potions and golden strawberry farm tickets. Now, I think this is really dumb that the strawberry farm tickets don't reset. It seems to be that you only get 5 of them throughout the whole event and not 5 a week. I wish it was 5 a week, but whatever, I guess. I would highly recommend using all of your stamps as much as possible on these 2 items. So buying all of the strawberry farms, buying all of the extreme growth potions. If you need Legion, like if you're below AK Legion, I would highly recommend using these. It's so valuable to get your Legion up. It gives you so much free damage, saves you an incredible amount of time. I think this is extremely high value. Now, the mag pots, even if you're somebody who's much later into the game, I don't think they're that important to get. They cost 10,000 each, meaning you would have to spend pretty much your entire budget on these items. I don't think it's that important. But let's go back to the start. So MSO pouches, don't want to get them. Potential scrolls could actually be pretty useful if you are pretty early in the game and you don't have any potential scrolls. I would recommend buying them from the event shop. 5 guaranteed items to have epic pot, like that's pretty good. Maybe you're working on getting your arcanes or your apsos or something and you don't have any potentials for them. This is pretty good value. Stamps, I would not recommend buying these. You could buy them from MSOs. Droplets, now some people might disagree, but I actually don't think it's that important to buy these droplets, because if you really think about it, what do droplets do? They give you arcanes, right? But ultimately you get a lot of your arcanes through drops down the line. So it's not that important to get these because there's an alternative way to get the thing that these droplets give you anyways. Now, flames, I don't think these are too high value. I think the eternal flames are pretty good if you are into like the mid to late game or beyond. The reason why I say that is because when you're very early into the game, you don't even have items that can really be flamed that effectively. You're going to be replacing your gear pretty quickly, so you won't get that much value from the flames. I would, if anything, just save your stamps until the end of the event and see how many flames you can get towards the end. Event ring exclusive solid cubes, event ring selector coupon, event ring legendary potential scroll. These are actually pretty good value items if you are somebody who is trying to work on MSO drop gear very early into the game, because not only could you get a really good item like an event ring, which is very strong for MSO drop gear, you could also get it to legendary right away, so you could save your mesos, and you can roll one line of MSO or one line of drop with these cubes as well. So there is a lot of value in this, but keep in mind it's extremely expensive. If you get all three of these, it's 9,000. If you get all three of these, it's 12,000. So you'll be spending basically your entire budget on just these items. So I probably wouldn't do that. I would say that getting the event rings themselves is really good value for MSO drop gear. I think it's okay to get the 3 event rings, make MSO drop gear on your main, and you could be good with that. But getting these legendary scrolls, obviously it saves you a lot of money. Maybe you could get 1 or 2, but then it comes at the cost of all of these extreme growth potions and the golden strawberry. So if you still need Legion, then I would prioritize the golden strawberry extreme growth potions and then see how many event rings you could get after that. So when we go to the growth tab, there are VIPs that you could get 5 per day. I mean, this is okay if you're mid to late game or beyond and you're trying to get bonus damage for your bosses every day. This is okay to do. But if you're early game, I really wouldn't bother with this. Yes, there is an XP buff, but it's only 15%. It's not going to make too big of a difference. You would rather use your stamps on other items that save you much more time. Serious Monster Bloom, you don't need these. Trait Boost Potion could actually be really good value if you're trying to unlock Pocket Slot on a bunch of mules, or you're trying to increase your empathy to gain more damage, stuff like that. I think it's pretty good value, but I would say the other stuff is more important. So you would save these towards the end if you have extra stamps. I wouldn't buy any of these or this. Infinite Revitalizer, not really that necessary because it only gives you 70 fatigue points back. If you're trying to work on Meister, I would just do it slowly and wait for reset instead of just trying to do this as quickly as possible. Character slot expansion, I don't think it's worth it. You could buy it. These bags, I don't think they're worth it either. You could just buy them as well with mesos. They're also very expensive. Now, the Arcane Symbol Selector coupon, this is actually pretty good value, especially when you are struggling to get enough Arcane Force to one-shot in whatever map you're in. So let's say you're in Moonbridge and you don't have enough Arcane Force. Maybe you just need a little bit more to start one-shotting and start training. Then I think you could get a little bit of these to try and push your symbols just above the line so you could one-shot. Node stones, 400 nodes. So I don't think this is actually that valuable. In the grand scheme of things, 400 nodes really isn't that much. And if you were to buy all of them, that's 20,000 stamps. That's like essentially your whole budget. XP nodes, I don't know how you're supposed to buy all of these. Like, they're so expensive. I don't think they're really that worth it either. I think the other stuff is more worth it. Medal of Honor, only really good if you're late game beyond trying to min-max your inner ability. Same with Chaos and Black Circs as well. Legendary Circ could be useful on like a boss mule if you just want it to get legendary inner right away. Sure, but I don't think it's worth it on your main, especially if you're early game. Those 2,000 stamps could be used on other things like the event rings that are more important, or the golden strawberry and extreme growth potion. So long story short, I would really prioritize these 2 items, golden strawberry and extreme growth potion, especially if you still need to work on your Legion. Getting event rings could be very useful for your MSO drop gear. And then if you're somebody who's much further into the game, then I would highly recommend getting the Eternal Flames, because you can actually use them on good items like Arcanes or something and try to hit something huge. Now, for those who don't know the difference between Chaos Circ and Black Circ, Black Circ gives you a before and after option when it rerolls your inner, whereas Chaos Circ will just reroll your inner ability values. It'll keep the inner ability, like it'll still be, for example, for me, boss, buff, and abnormal, but it'll just reroll those values. So now let's talk about the trophy exchange. So this is the shop that you get currency from killing weekly bosses. So for example, if you press I want to get trophies, it's going to show the weekly bosses that you killed, claim all of them, and then you'll get a bunch of currency that you can use for the shop. So it has 10 VIPs that you can get every single week. I would only really buy these if you are strapped for VIPs and you can't get them. I think the best thing from this shop is the 2 3x coupons every single day. The reason why this is so important to try and get every day if possible is because if you miss out on it, you can't get it later. Like it's 2 every single day and it resets every day. So you really want to make sure you get these. It's really good value. Even training the 30 minutes a day just with these coupons will be very good for your progression. The VIP boosters are also very, very good for training. In particular, they're really good for unlocking your 6th job. So whether it's on your main or on your mules, using these to unlock your 6th job, it gives you a huge XP boost and it'll make things so much easier for you. That's what I'm probably going to save them for on my Chronos character, is just whenever I want to unlock my 6th job. Now, droplets, like I mentioned before, they could be useful if you really need to get arcanes, but I would highly recommend putting these as low priority. The reason for that is you can get arcane pieces through other methods. You could get them from drops and you don't need arcanes to get arcanes. So it's not that important to get these droplets. I would highly recommend getting the black flames. They're very important, especially if you are somebody who, even like me, like 290 and you want to min-max your flames, the black flames are very good value. Same with the eternal flames. Basically, if you're not early game, these 2 items are very, very, very valuable and can help a lot. Medal of Honor, very good if you're trying to min-max your inner ability. This is like 3 million honor here. Chaos and Black Cirque, same thing if you're trying to min-max your inner ability, but I wouldn't recommend it for early to mid-game players. It's too expensive. And then Sacred Symbols. Sacred Symbols is also always very, very good. I would try to get as much as possible from these Sacred Symbols, even if you are just a fresh level 260 or you're 265 or something, and you still want to get just some Sacred Force, I think it's very valuable. So if you walk away from this trophy shop and the only thing you get is like the 2 3x's every day and then just symbols, like that itself is already crazy value because that'll just make you so much stronger and it's all guaranteed gains. Whereas flames, like flames are an opportunity. It's not guaranteed that you're going to get anything. Whereas the 3x coupons, the symbols, the VIP boosters, these are all guaranteed gains for your character if you use them no matter what. So I would highly recommend getting these items as much as possible. Now the next shop is the metal shop from the Maple long distance running. Now this metal shop is actually pretty good if you can cap the medals every single day. So if you were to cap this every single day since the event came out, it would be around 21,000 coins. So with those 21,000 coins, you would be able to buy a lot of items. You'll be able to buy all of the extreme growth potions, which is very, very, very valuable, especially if you need to work on your Legion, your below 8k Legion. This is so important to get. The symbols I think are good, but they're not as valuable as the other items. I would only get them, let's say you're close to a symbol upgrade and you want it to help you one shot or do damage to a boss. The VIP boosters are actually very good for training as well, especially for unlocking your 6th job, whether it's on your main or on your mules or anything like that. It's also very valuable if there's like a rune event or something where you want to get like 10 VIP boosters, because remember you can only use 10 VIP boosters a day and you want to try and get as much XP as possible during that day. And then of course the nodes are valuable as well, but again, the other items are more valuable. The nodes will make you stronger, of course, but 400 nodes again is not as much as you might think. Of course, it'll make you stronger. I'm not denying that, but the other items are better gains for your account long term. But that's about it for this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, definitely leave a comment down below. If you appreciated this video, I would be super thankful if you were to subscribe. It would help me out, pull up to the live stream like I mentioned, and join the Discord. You can get a lot of gains from this event, especially if you cap out the coins, you're playing actively, you could get so much stronger. So that's my advice for you guys. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Shout out to my members, Blazefire, Shooms, Shagad, Ravi Espa, Koga, Skittles, Dante Victory, CK, Jay, Kyle, Vampiric X, Fresh and Juicy, Assassin, Henzo, Henrique, and Kelvin. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you everybody who submitted fan art. You can always submit it in the Discord and it'll be put at the end of every video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.